Good evening. Reflection. If I asked each of you to raise your hand if you take time to reflect daily, we may not see many hands rise. Lives are busy, and once we complete a project, we often move on to the next thing, because the next is always waiting. As I reflected upon this past year as chair of the board of the Monterey Chamber EDC, I'm grateful to share these key moments with you that continue to move our organization and our community forward. To begin, it's an honor to have Governor Armstrong here, as well as many state legislators, representatives from the city, Minot Air Force Base, and of course, all of you, our member investors. Welcome. And I start out with gratitude. Thank you, Brecca. Thank you for asking me to step into this role. It was an easy yes with you at the helm. The Minot Area Chamber EDC would not be where it is today without your leadership and your drive. Your ability to find solutions and get things done is unmatched. I've had a firsthand view of that this past year, and it's a pleasure to serve alongside you and call you a friend. I would also like to take a moment to recognize the honor that was bestowed upon you for your selection to the U.S. Air and Space Force Civic Leader Program. It's evident, yes. It's evident of your leadership when 3 separate military groups choose you. So congratulations, and thank you for serving. To the Chamber EDC team, I'm not going to repeat what Brecca said, except for the fact that as board members, you are respected and valued for the various tasks and projects you take on. You do it willingly, and you do it with enthusiasm. And the daily navigation of this team is just that. You're a true team. I hope you take pride in what you do, and that during my reflection, you recognize that this doesn't happen without each of you. As I followed into the footsteps of Kevin Black, who was a fantastic chair, my goal was to make sure I didn't fall off the rails. And I said it last year, but I couldn't help last year's speech. As I said, I was standing on the shoulders of giants. Many of you in this room have served this organization in one way or another, but immediately I realized I was not alone. The support from our board of directors was wonderful throughout the year, always willing to step up, provide thoughtful insight into the boardroom, and keep focused on the big picture. So it made serving as your chair a true honor. Our volunteer gig, while sometimes requiring many more hours than one would assume, makes it easy when you have such a talented group to work with. This past year, we welcomed 2 new board members, Beth Feldner from Xcel Energy, and later in the year, Jared Lundeen from Trusted Tire and Auto, Valvoline Instant Oil, and Bones Barbecue. Both have proven to be strong, consistent leaders who deeply care about our community. To our new chair, Ryan Ackerman. You got this, buddy. I'm here to support you and your vision. And I have to say, Ryan's engineering brain is fascinating to my marketing brain. You have this ability to take a project, word vomit onto a piece of paper, and then turn it into a solution and have the research to back it. We will be better off for having you as chair, even though I can openly admit I'm having a sense of FOMO. And as I jump into the reflection, I think we need to make sure we celebrate the wins. AGT Foods was awarded the North Dakota Economic Development Project of the Year by the Economic Development Association of North Dakota. And we're thrilled to have AGT Foods CEO Murad Al-Khatib with us in person, and I can't wait to hear more about your story tomorrow at Minot State. So congrats. The Minot Area Chamber EDC Intermodal Facility was awarded the Public-Private Partnership Gold Award by the International Economic Development Council. This award showcased the positive impacts the intermodal facility has in our region. And then adding to that, this fall, we celebrated the 100th unit train carrying containers with North Dakota and regional products to international markets. After 4 years of operations, this was a huge milestone and one that we will celebrate with our community. The IEDC also awarded the Minot Intermodal Facility a Best of the Best 2024 Excellence in Economic Development. Only 14 projects are selected amongst this international group. Minot Area Chamber EDC won the Chamber Event of the Year for Dinner on the Prairie at the Mid-America Chamber Executives Annual Conference. The event is so well done and educates so many folks about agriculture in our state. And the last accolade I'll touch on is during the Main Street Summit Conference, 2 projects from our area were recognized. The Minot Intermodal Facility for smart, efficient infrastructure, and second, the Minot Wayfinders Program for urban workforce development. And while awards come and go, I remind you of all these accolades because I want to highlight the level of excellence that the Chamber EDC staff is not only operating at, but doing so across the 5 main pillars that we support: economic development, community development, workforce development, military support, and member investor. Programs like Startup Minot, powered by Co-Starters, had 15 students in 2024's program. There was a 92% satisfaction score on knowing more about how to operate a business. That's 15 more opportunities in our community. If we had a 92% satisfaction score at SRT, we'd be celebrating through the windows, through the roof. MACEDC was awarded grant funding from the Department of Commerce for the Regional Workforce Impact Program. This grant funding will go towards marketing enhancements to the Wayfinders program. Wayfinders is a route to making relocation to Minot easy, and it attracts talent to our community. The proof is there, and it's working. Now, as a parent of a junior in high school, we're having the "what do you want to do after high school" conversation. It's a regular occurrence. The opening of the Dakota College downtown, supported by Minot State University, Dakota College of Botano, and Trinity Health, and so many other key partners, including the Chamber EDC, will provide so many opportunities to students in our communities, hopefully including mine, interested in dental and other healthcare fields. And when it comes to military support, no one does it like Minot. We are proud of winning the Barksdale Trophy, given to the community with the highest level of community support. In this past spring, I attended the 20th Air Force dinner hosted by Major General Huser, commander of the 20th Air Force. She asked airmen to tell their why. All 5 stories sent chills down your spine. But the one that stood out was an airman who actually was one of the lost boys of Sudan. He talked about his journey to avoid being taken as a child soldier and how walking across his country just to reach safety was the only option. He shared, we took him in, we gave him a home, and that his why was because the US military gave him hope, gave him meaning, and that he wanted to give back to the country that saved his life. Every person has a story. Hearing them and meeting airmen in our community is one of the many reasons we can all jump on board with supporting the military. But last year, after hosting a very successful Prairie Warrior auction and doing many raffles and fundraisers across the community, nearly 110 airmen were able to be sent home for the holidays. Their stories are ours, and so it's easy to support these men and women who are supporting our nuclear missions. Setting the record wasn't enough for Chamber EDC, so why not set the record for the number of nuclear symposiums you're going to have? In April, MACEDC hosted the first ever Nuclear Triad Symposium here right in Minot. We had over 250 people attend, and they learned about everything from what's happening in nuclear deterrence, the Sentinel program, and they learned from military experts who flew in from across the country. So following that up, we did another one in September in Washington, D.C. And again, the purpose of educating people about the Minot Air Force Base, the global threats to our nation, and the importance of our dual mission. The large-scale events are great, but the resources that this team puts into the tours, working with Minot Air Force Base in partnership, along with inviting key leaders from across the state, is no small feat. We were challenged to talk about the importance of Minot Air Force Weekly, and I think we did that. As we continue to prep for Sentinel, the largest modernization program in the history of the Department of Defense, this community and every single person in this room I know will stand ready to support. Many opportunities also continue to present themselves through economic development, and it's the team's due diligence that ensures we find great partners for this community. The Northwest Seaport Alliance is a strategic partner in our operations of the Minot Intermodal site. They highlighted the success of Minot at their Seattle and Tacoma Commission meeting last year. They're the 7th busiest port in the nation, and they wanted to highlight Minot. That says something about the work that we're doing here. Another shout out to AGT Foods, who opened their new extrusion center facility in Minot. They shared their goal to be the largest processing facility in North America for gluten-free pastas, and it's phenomenal to have that happening right here in our community. And whether it was a meeting focused on livestock development with the North Dakota Department of Agriculture or the North Dakota Association of Rural Electric Co-ops to look at food distributions and logistics hubs, meetings like these are happening regularly. They are at the table. In this past year, we had an outpouring of support from member investors like yourselves. 67 ribbon cuttings from ambassadors, along with 161 Eagle Awards given to your employees for your outstanding customer service. This community continues to support each other, to problem solve, and we are poised for growth. So what was my why for saying yes to chairing this great organization? I think it's safe to say every person in this room cares deeply about Minot, our region, and our state, me included. My why continues to be to support our communities, to raise my kids in the best state in the nation, to ensure the next newest employee we hire can retire from our company, if they ever choose to, and to support the great work that each and every member investor does to enhance our region and our economy. It was an honor, and it will continue to be one. So thank you again for your support of the Chamber EDC in 2024, and here's to an even greater one in 2025. And now, I would like to recognize an outgoing board member, Dr. Mark Vollmer. He retired as superintendent of Minot Public Schools. Mark was unable to attend tonight, but I would ask that everyone give him a round of applause. And now, I would like to bring up Ryan Ackerman to the stage. Ryan is our 2025 board chair, and as I said, we are in phenomenal hands. So Ryan, if I had a gavel, I'd hand it to you.
Well, good evening, everyone. I will do my best not to word vomit. Is that the description?
On paper.
On paper. Excuse me, word vomit on paper. Well, too late. I already did that. So, first of all, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Cassidy Hjelmstad for her leadership as chair of the Chamber EDC Board in 2024. Cassidy touched on this, but this organization continues to build capacity for advocating for the Minot community. We continue to support the people, the businesses, the organization, and the institutions that make Minot exceptional. And we drive home the facts that make Minot the best place for people and companies to invest in their futures. Cassidy shepherded real, tangible progress on all of these fronts as the chair of the Chamber EDC. So as a small token of appreciation from her colleagues on the board and from our CEO, Brecca Kramer, we'd like to present Cassidy with a plaque to commemorate her leadership and service to the organization. Cassidy sets the bar high, and while we recognize her this evening for her service as the chair of the Chamber EDC Board, her time volunteering, advocating for, and advancing the position of the Minot community is far from over. Cassidy, we appreciate you.